Welcome. You are listening to Aftersight. This recording is intended solely for individuals who are blind or have low vision.
Thank you for joining us for Audiophile Magazine, read by Sarah. And today we're going to start off with some biography and memoir titles. Freaks Came Out to Write: The Definitive History of the Village Voice, the Radical Paper That Changed American Culture, by Tricia Romano, read by Johnny Heller and Joanna Perrin. Johnny Heller and Joanna Perrin successfully navigate the challenge of narrating an extensive oral history, creating a fascinating journey through the evolution and demise of the Village Voice. Even if listeners have never read the weekly news and culture publication from Greenwich Village, they've definitely felt its influence. Contributing writers embraced the arts and pop culture in ways legacy brands would not. Many of the contributors quoted will be known to fans, but Heller and Perrin avoid imitating anyone. Both take the approach that less is more, performing the many voices consistently with subtle touches and embracing natural rhythms of speech and dialogue. The result is a moving history of powerful writing that captures the soul of the times. It's available from Dreamscape, 16.75 hours unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-166-665-513 for $25. An Unfinished Love Story, A Personal History of the 1960s, by Doris Kearns Goodwin, read by Doris Kearns Goodwin and Bryan Cranston. Doris Kearns Goodwin's voice is well known from TV appearances. Not surprisingly, her narration comes across as thoughtful and familiar. Bryan Cranston's role is minimal. The use of snippets of speeches from John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, and Robert Kennedy adds to the authenticity of a presentation. This is a kind of oral history of the 1960s, told through the unique lens of her late husband, the irrepressible Dick Goodwin, who maintained dozens of boxes of files and memorabilia from his time as speechwriter for JFK, LBJ, and RFK. He worked closely with Jackie as well. Goodwin lovingly tells the many stories of the man who coined the term Great Society for Johnson and was widely considered an unparalleled crafter of speeches. It's available from Simon & Schuster Audio, 17.5 hours long, unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-179-716-8975 for $29.99. Also available as CD. Phi, by Alexandra Fuller, read by Alexandra Fuller. In this memoir of the unexpected death of her son Phi, Alexandra Fuller pulls off quite a feat by simultaneously filling her voice with both life and loss. Fuller grew up in Zimbabwe, and her rich, warm voice contains appealing traces of that accent. Phi died at age 21, despite having no real health problems, and grief and incomprehension are clear in every word Fuller utters. But she is acerbically funny, too. One of her attempts to recover a sense of equilibrium is attending a silent retreat in Canada. The experience is odd enough, but the guard she encounters upon re-entering the U.S. at an out-of-the-way border post is hilariously bonkers. Fuller is often bursting with rage and physical pain, and her voice quickening into a near rant with a raw edge translates both word and feeling perfectly. It's available from Recorded Books, 6.5 hours long, unabridged. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 979-889-059-8196 for $17.19. Also available as CD or MP3. The Swans of Harlem, 5 Black Ballerinas, 50 Years of Sisterhood, and Their Reclamation of a Groundbreaking History, by Karen Valby, read by January Lavoie, Carlia Shelton Benjamin, Sheila Rowan, Lydia Abarca Mitchell, Marcia Lynn Sells, and Khadija Griffith. January Lavoie's smooth and expressive voice is a perfect match for Karen Valby's history of America's first black professional ballerinas and the Dance Theatre of Harlem, founded in the late 1960s. These 5 women cracked open the door that Misty Copeland would dance through decades later. Lavoie is a master at conveying the emotions wrought by the exacting standards of their sometimes dictatorial teacher, as well as the racism they faced in ballet and everywhere else. The women formed a tight unit that survives to this day. It's the small details of their lives, along with Lavoie's performance, that paint a vivid picture of each dancer. A nice touch is the occasional voices of the ballerinas themselves, one of whom recently died and is voiced by her daughter. It's available from Random House Audio, 10.25 hours long unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-382-0445 for $22.50. Books on Tape has the library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-382-0452 for $76. The Friday Afternoon Club, a Family Memoir, by Griffin Dunne, read by Griffin Dunne. Griffin Dunne's narration of his memoir pairs a tender, conversational tone with occasional moments of drama that embrace his gifts as a writer and actor, as well as the cast of vivid characters he portrays. Dunne augments his rich material with intonations, pacing, and tension that fully engage. Whether he's telling stories of privileged Hollywood familiars, political well-knowns, family members, or famed relatives like writers John Gregory Dunne and Joan Didion, each vignette commands attention for its narrative worth, rather than the celebrity mentions. Whether he writes of his sister's murder and the trial that followed, or his own sexual awakening, Dunne transitions smoothly from one scenario to the next, stitching stories into a powerful arc that compels from beginning to end. Dunne's acting chops, writing instincts, and raconteur heritage are always evident. It's available from Penguin Audio, 12.25 hours unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-4432 for $22.50. Books on Tape has the library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-4449 for $95. And now let's move on to sci-fi, fantasy, and horror titles. A Letter to the Luminous Deep, by Sylvie Catherall, read by Claire Morgan, Joshua Riley, Justin Avoth, and Kit Griffiths. Twists and turns, flashbacks, and surprising revelations are handled deftly by the four excellent narrators of this epistolary novel, Catherall's debut. While it's a work of speculative fiction, there is also mystery, light romance, fascinating underwater world-building, and a magical academia. The four narrators bring the letters to life in the voices of their 15 writers. Kit Griffiths provides excellent vocal interpretations that highlight E's, the protagonist's, sheltered upbringing. Claire Morgan's deeper pitches match Sophie's more adventurous personality well, and Joshua Riley brings the charming Henry and other characters to life with a variety of skilled voices. Of particular note is Justin Avoth, whose regal tones and posh accents help delineate the characters he voices, especially Chancellor Rosal. It's available from Hachette Audio, 12.5 hours long, unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-166-863-8064 for $31.99. The Crone of Midnight Embers, Myrtlewood Crones, Book 1, by Iris Beaglehole, read by Bethan Dixon Bate. Book 1 in the Myrtlewood Crones series gets a near-perfect narration from Bethan Dixon Bate. Bizarre things keep happening to 60-ish Delia Spark. She's attacked by a stranger, her daughter is being secretive, and things around her burst into flame spontaneously. For example, her ex-husband's girlfriend's underwear. To get away, Delia travels to remote Myrtlewood, where she meets a strange group of older women. Witches? A magical mafia? Bate gives each woman a unique personality, and her male characters sound uncomfortably menacing. With potion spells, diabolical plotting by the men in the Order, talking cats, and rabid squirrels, Delia's adventures are fast and outrageous, some psychedelic and some painfully real. Paranormal cozy, sci-fi, fantasy fun, whatever you decide, Bates makes this delightful audiobook choice listening. It's available from Podium at a length of 8.25 hours unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-103-945-6105 for $33.90. Floating Hotel, by Grace Curtis, read by Braden Wright. Braden Wright confidently narrates this charming space adventure. In an increasingly authoritarian galactic empire, the Grand Abiona Hotel is a beacon for weary travelers and offbeat employees alike. As this aging starliner plays host to a quirky academic conference, a pair of lovebirds, and a series of Imperial spies, the crew race to decode the mysteries at the heart of a voyage that may prove to be their last. Wright undertakes the huge task of giving unique voices to a diverse cast of characters, as each one gets a moment to reflect on the circumstances that brought them to the ship. Wright's undeniable verve will have listeners laughing, crying, and eagerly following the exploits of the Grand Abiona and his quirky crew. It's available from Brilliance Audio, 10 hours long, unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-151-1313315 for $42.99. L. Ron Hubbard presents Writers of the Future, Volume 40, the best new sci-fi and fantasy short stories of the year, by Gregory Benford, Bob Eggleton, L. Ron Hubbard, Nancy Kress, Jody Lynn Nye, Dean Wesley Smith, S.M. Sterling, Amir Agora, James Davis, Cal M., Skye McKinnon, Jack Nash, and others. Read by Jim Meskimen, Taylor Meskimen, Tamra Meskimen, and Victoria Summer. It's a family affair with father, mother, and daughter, Jim, Tamra, and Taylor Meskimen, sharing the narrative duties in this inventive collection of Writers of the Future contest-winning science fiction and fantasy short stories. The works are by established and first-time authors from around the globe. Taylor brings a wistful gentleness to an AI cat in The Edge of Where My Light is Cast by Skye McKinnon, while Tamra captures the third world folktale feel of Jack Nash's Sun Spirit Snake. Jim's voice finds the straightforward Golden Age sci-fi tone in a reflection on sacrifice in Ashes to Ashes, Blood to Carbon Fibre by James Davis. The audiobook also features English voice talent Victoria Summer and a fun 1940s pulp piece by L. Ron Hubbard, stylishly read by Jim Meskimen. It's available from Galaxy Press, 16.25 hours unabridged. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-161-986-7765 for $24.99. When Among Crows by Veronica Roth, read by Helen Laser, James Fowey, and Tim Campbell. Helen Laser, James Fowey, and Tim Campbell narrate a dark fantasy novella about a trio seeking an audience with the legendary witch Baba Yaga. Demeter offers to cure Ala, Asmora suffering from a fatal curse, in exchange for help in treating Baba Yaga, who famously doesn't take kindly to humans. Laser, Fowey, and Campbell breathe life into the three who are hoping to talk to Baba Yaga, Demeter, Ala, and Nico. The novella is short, but the narrators bring each character to life with surprising depth. The world building based on Polish folklore in modern Chicago is epic. This explosively addictive fairy tale examining cultural heritage makes for an engaging listening experience. It's available from Macmillan Audio, 4.5 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-125-0351173 for $10.99. And now we move on to mystery and suspense title reviews. The Unwedding by Ali Condi, read by Christine Lakin. Christine Lakin captures Ellery Wainwright's unsteady state of mind so effectively that the tension in this mystery builds exponentially. Ellery finds herself alone at an exotic Big Sur resort after her husband leaves her. As she struggles through her major life change, she finds herself embroiled in a possible murder. When a major storm rolls in, the guests are cut off from the rest of the world. Condi's audiobook transports listeners to the perfect summer locale with exquisite twists. The mounting danger of a second murder, coupled with the beautiful but cut-off setting, establishes a real sense of menace. Throughout, Lakin's authentic performance is layered and vulnerable, making Ellery's plight even more frightening. It's available from Hachette Audio, 11 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-166-8641781 for $27.99. An Evil Heart, Kate Burkholder, Book 15, by Linda Castillo, read by Kathleen McInerney. When an Amish man is brutally murdered, his shadow life is exposed and secrets are revealed. Narrator Kathleen McInerney channels Police Chief Kate Burkholder with precision as she investigates the crime. When she discovers the extent to which the victim, Aidan Carn, was himself a perpetrator, she is filled with controlled rage. Upon hearing of his toll on others in the community, she is careful, reserved, and empathetic. Throughout, McInerney offers the right tone and emotion for Burkholder, and characters such as a teenage victim of Carn, his fiancée, and those complicit in the crimes. Kate must also come to grips with her own Amish upbringing and her decision to separate from the community, a plot point that adds another layer of complexity to the story. It's available from Macmillan Audio, 9.5 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-125-089-3376 for $19.99. Also available as CD. Library edition digital download, ISBN 978-125-033-6477 for $74.99. Death in the Spires by K.J. Charles, read by Tom Lawrence. Listeners will be drawn into this atmospheric and compelling historical mystery. In 1895, Oxford University student Toby is murdered, and his close friends know that one of them must have done it. Jem is one of these 7 wonders, and 10 years later, with his life falling apart, he sets out to solve the mystery once and for all. As the story moves back and forth in time, narrator Tom Lawrence is especially effective in differentiating Jem's less rarefied accent from those of his wealthy upper-crust peers. Lawrence also conveys Jem's growing desperation as he contacts his old school friends. He doesn't know who he can trust, and the further his investigation goes, the more secrets are revealed, and the more danger Jem finds himself in. It's available from Storm Publishing, 9 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download for $20. The Last Word by Ellie Griffiths, read by Nina Wadia. Nina Wadia's stylish narration brings to life private investigators Natalka and Edwin, along with Natalka's partner Benedict, as they set out to uncover the truth behind 3 suspicious deaths. Each victim was a writer who attended a writer's retreat in the quiet English town of Battle. Wadia creates wonderfully believable characters, including feisty Natalka with her strong Ukrainian accent, wordsmith Edwin, who at 84 uses his age to his advantage when it comes to investigation, and quiet, unassuming Benedict, whose former life as a monk has left him with insecurities. Wadia's spot-on timing allows the subtle humour in the audiobook to shine through, resulting in an engaging listen. It's available from Harper Audio, 8.75 hours long unabridged. Trade edition digital download, ISBN 978-006-3374751 for $27.99. Phantom Orbit by David Ignatius, read by Eduardo Ballerini. This intensely interesting spy novel by Washington Post foreign affairs columnist David Ignatius makes for a gripping audiobook. The setup: Volkov, a mathematically gifted, socially awkward Russian student doing graduate work in Beijing in the early 90s, falls for a lively American girl. She abruptly dumps him and disappears. But why? Decades later, the world's balance of power among Russia, China, and the U.S. may depend on the fact that the girl once gave Volkov her parents' home address in Massachusetts, and he kept it. Ballerini uses fairly generic foreign-sounding accents to suggest the otherness of a Chinese and Russian scientists and spy masters, but it works fine. He is attentive and expressive, letting Ignatius's all-too-believable and frankly terrifying scenario keep the listener in thrall. It's available from Recorded Books, 10 hours long unabridged. Library edition digital download, ISBN 978-1705087541 for $29.99. Also available as CD or MP3. And let's finish off with some young adult titles. There is a Door in This Darkness by Christine Cashore, read by Georgina Marie, and with a note read by Kristen Cashore. Author Kristen Cashore, known for creating fantastical worlds, takes listeners into a very real 2020. Georgina Marie makes it even more authentic by depicting the many emotions of young Wilhelmina Hart, as well as those of minor characters. Marie's portrayals anchor listeners as the story moves back and forth in time between Wilhelmina's childhood, with 3 vividly described aunts, and her present-day woes, the pandemic, election fears, and the shifting friendships of teens. Casho's slow-paced writing style reflects the painful sluggishness of the pandemic time period and its atmosphere of grief. Marie explores Wilhelmina's relationship with her beloved Aunt Frankie, honoring the author's precise prose. Other pluses are the story's magical realism and Wilhelmina's slow-burning first love. It's available from Listening Library at a length of 13 hours unabridged, recommended for ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-4579 for $27.50. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-4586 for $75. Stepping Off by Jordan Sonnenblick, read by Kirby Hayborn. Kirby Hayborn's portrayal of 16-year-old Jesse begins with his comfort in the pleasurable Pennsylvania summers he's experienced with his 2 childhood friends, Ava and Chloe. Hayborn expresses Jesse's slight tone of concern as he wonders which of the 2 girls he loves more and how a declaration of that might change all their relationships. Change is a theme in this audio as Hayborn reflects Jesse's increasing stress as his parents' marriage founders. They squabble and separate, and Jesse is angry and alienated from them both. When the pandemic closes schools and businesses and affects his grandparents, Hayborn portrays Jesse's confused emotions, his attempts to find security with Ava and Chloe, and eventually his acceptance of life's difficulties. It's available from Scholastic Audiobooks, 8.25 hours long unabridged, recommended for ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-154-612-1183 for $24.99. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-154-612-1190 for $74.99. What's Eating Jackie O? By Patricia Park, read by Amy Park. Amy Park's facility with Korean weaves through this story of Jackie O, a Korean-American teen whose primary languages are sarcasm and the culinary arts. Park's tonal changes capture joy and warmth as Jackie views cooking shows on TV with her grandparents and works in their deli. In contrast, Park evokes Jackie's parents' continual pressure for high academic achievement, which is not important to her. While Park strongly voices ironic humor, she also reveals the mixed emotions beneath it. Jackie frequently longs for her incarcerated brother and notes microaggressions and anti-Asian hate around her. Humor, heart, and cooking combine as Jackie's appearance on a competition TV show challenges her relationships, cooking style, and stereotypes. Appendixes include recipes and the author's powerful words on anti-Asian hate. It's available from Listening Library, 7 hours long unabridged, recommended by ages 12 and up. Trade edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-6481 for $20. Library edition, digital download, ISBN 978-059-386-6498 for $50. And that is it for me for today. Thank you for joining us for Audiophile Magazine, read by Sarah.